Welcome on me for the Health Tune-Up, back for another episode of getting to know each other and try to parse apart details of humanity and human experience so that we can bridge the gap of any kind of unspoken or misunderstood parts of ourselves so that we're better human beings and better ready to be in all our relationships. So here we are, ready to do it. So, what would you like to talk about today?
Well, we were kind of discussing how a parent feels about a child when they first are born and as they are raised.
What's the energetic bond? Do you think there's a special sixth sense that parents have for their children?
Well, I can tell you from 2 points of view. I've had my own children, and I can tell you after it's born and you take it in your hands and you hold it and you look at it, you feel something for that child. And you don't feel that for anybody else. That is special, that because it's part of you. But I was adopted.
Mm-hmm.
So my parents didn't have me when I was born. And it was like a couple weeks later. And they were handed me by my mother at the time. So they didn't have that kind of bonding. So in this case, there are times that you don't feel as, I won't say bonded, but you just don't feel like you're on the same page sometimes with people. And for myself, I always thought it was because I was adopted. You know, that I didn't think the same way sometimes. I didn't, I think there's some things that we have genetically that come from our genes that we pass on, and there's something that we recognize in each other that I didn't have. So it was like living in a house of strangers.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting. I wonder, it'd be interesting if in speaking with other children who are adopted, even into great houses, you know, if there's always this feeling of vacancy in a way.
I had great parents.
No, I know. It has nothing to do with the upbringing.
It's just that, and I thought, of course, when you have your baby, you have all the hopes and wishes in the world. That is a person. They're going to grow up, and they're going to do what they want to do, and there are times when you're not going to feel close to those people. You can hardly imagine them being your own, you know, when they do certain things.
Hey!
Well, it's true, but that's because we're older and we're acting as adults. So this kind of conversation helps me understand Angela's point of view, and she knows how I feel about it. And I don't think maybe all of adoptions, I always knew I was adopted. Besides that, I look different than everybody else. Everybody in my family were blonde-headed and blue-eyed. I was the only one that wasn't.
Well, some people don't even know they were adopted.
Right.
And, I mean, there can be, thank goodness, there's wonderful parents out there.
Yeah,
they do a fantastic job with the child.
The parent, it's not the parent's fault or the child's fault, but there's something about...
There's a chemistry for a baby. There's the oxytocin.
You're taking, you have something that has your genes. And I know when I had my handicapped child, here was somebody that was very strange. And I bonded to her right away. So it's a special bond. You can be your own, you know, it's different with different people and different families. You can have a family that's all from the same family and they don't get along and they don't...
Right. Energy exchange it's the sixth sense. If you go into a room, I always tell people that I talk about this, or they think it's kind of like a nutty discussion, but it's true. It's actually a real thing. Anybody can practice. It's not special to anybody. If you go into a room or you're in a room or somewhere or at a grocery store and you turn and somebody's looking at you, you sensed it. Now, nobody said anything, nothing, no dart flew across the room. It's an energetic exchange.
Right.
So I mean, there are certain people that in all of our lives we will resonate beyond anything that can be explained in the physical.
Right.
It's just an energetic bond.
And you might not.
Period.
You might not have that with your parents.
Right, or siblings, or family, or you may. Some people have fantastic
Right.
family
It
dynamics.
has to do with the experience that you have in your family, and so.
But I think too, if there isn't so much of a bond, there's still, I think, and that's what we're discussing in just trying to, I mean, we have a bond, but making an effort with family members and elders and friends and just human beings out in the world, that we're still human beings, whether we necessarily sync up energetically or not, but we're still having that same experience. We're still swimming in the same waters, you know, and still being able to communicate openly, accepting a person for who they are, and being able to have some empathy. I think one of the issues that I find, and it's this rampant, you know, diagnosis of different personality disorders, but if you were to kind of boil it down, it's not that people don't know how to love, is that they don't care. The care, the actual heartfelt caring about somebody, like caring how I would hurt somebody or help them, maybe give them contribute to happiness, like to have some empathy. And I don't know, maybe technology is affecting us in this. Maybe it's between, I mean, even my generation, the cell phones just came out, but that feeling of caring, that energy of that heart-based.
I don't think that is true. I think it's a human thing. I can look back at my grandpa and his family, and there were people that just didn't even like each other, and so it's a human condition.
So it's not technology.
I don't think so. It would be nice for you to be able to blame that on the technology, but it's people.
It's contributing, though.
It might be contributing, but
so why would people not care?
I really couldn't figure that out.
And we're both caring. I guess that won't be good.
We're both caring people, but some people just don't have it, and I don't know whether.
And how do you deal with that?
Well, it's not what you're only responsible for what you do.
Mm-hmm.
So if that person is not responding the way you think they should, that doesn't mean you respond in the same way. If they're not being a caring person, that doesn't mean you're not going to be one.
Mm-hmm.
So you satisfy how you would be a caring friend or family member to that person, and then you leave that person to live their life the way they want.
Boundaries.
Yeah, because it shouldn't, just because that person doesn't care doesn't mean that you go, you know.
We can still be kind and loving.
We can still be kind and considerate.
And understanding and caring.
Yes, and that's for coming from us, this may help the person, it may not, but it doesn't matter. If we have to be.
But same with caregiving, you know, as far as taking care of people when it gets flipped around, trying to still understand, even though it can be rather frustrating when you have a stubborn parent.
She's picking on you.
But you love them, so just trying to maybe you know, other people out there are navigating these same waters, and everybody's different. Their parent is different, their grandparent is different, their family member is different, their spouse is different. But how we have to be willing to communicate and be respectful and accept the person where they're at.
Right.
Is that basically it?
That's it. Yes.
So it goes both ways, right?
It does. It goes both ways, but if you find someone that doesn't, you just do your part best you can in a loving way, and that's all you can do.
Yeah.
You've done whatever you can do.
That's it. No, that makes a lot of sense. Is there any other wisdom, 1, 2, 3 bits of wisdom from an 81-year-old in regards to being able to manifest and embody being sensitive. The reason we started with just the energetic connection with children, you have to be open to receiving. You're emotionally open to exchanging with another being, another life.
Well, you have to have respect for that person. If you have respect for a tiny baby, you respect that baby. That baby is a person. It's different than, and I think some people are more emotional than others. So you
what does that mean?
well, I'm not talking about you.
Okay.
But I've been around people that are not all that emotional. So you're never quite sure what they're thinking about things. And so it's kind of hard sometimes to guess, how they're taking what you're saying and so forth. So
in medicine, they say don't guess, test.
Right. But sometimes
how about communicate?
You must communicate, and that's the only answer, because otherwise, just looking at someone or watching them do things is not.
But non-judgmentally, just with love, like unconditional love, without having to have something back. And then
Right.
if somebody doesn't want that, then I guess that is what it is.
Well,
you have to accept that too.
If you've given someone love and they don't want it, that's too bad for them. They just missed out. Right?
Well, I guess so. Yeah, love is love.
Yeah.
It's always there. It never goes away.
That's
so,
right.
There's never anything lost with it.
No, you're always better. The best is to be a loving, helpful person.
Yeah, I hold strong to that. And so do you.
Yeah.
All right, I think that's plenty to think about. Love, communication, respect, respecting our elders, respecting our family, showing up. I think it's all very important.
I do too.
And staying connected, energetically connected is staying connected. It's all about connection.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, well, until next time, from On Me and the Health Tune-Up, we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.